Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Innovation Saves Lives. Today, you have your host Leonard Kim with Joseph Zapolsky over at Erchonia. He's the International Sales Director. Joseph, would you like to take a moment to kind of get into your journey of how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really been an incredible journey as I've known the families that founded Erchonia for almost 35 years.
Wow.
So even before I worked at Erchonia, I knew the families. Our owner and president, who's one of our founders, his nephew James, who also works at the company, him and I met in elementary school.
Oh, wow.
We became good friends, we played sports together, we grew up together, and we remained friends all the way through high school and into our early 20s. So I was always around the families that owned the company, and I got to see the start of the company. And about 6 years into Erchonia, when it went from a garage story to a fully functioning company, they were able to get me onto the team. And I started part-time doing some assembly work in my early 20s. And then shortly after that, I was hired on full-time. And I've worked my way through the ranks of the company, learning all different aspects of how we do business and manufacture the lasers. And just this last month in February, I celebrated my 24th year at Erchonia.
That's amazing. Congratulations on 24 years. Not that many people stick with a company that long. How's that journey been?
It's great. Like I said, starting as a 20-year-old and just, oh man, I got a great job. I have good paychecks. I have good benefits. To then really the company becoming part of my DNA and my passion, where now it's become more than a career. It's really my life's work. And it's something that I put a lot into. I use the technology on my family, my friends, myself. So I love it. And Lord willing, my plan is to go nowhere else for my entire working career.
That would be amazing if that's the case. So tell me more about these lasers.
Yes, so we started in pain management. That was really how we built the company. And the difference with Erchonia lasers than any other cold laser or therapeutic laser, if you will, is that we truly generate no heat. Everything we do is through a photochemical reaction instead of a photothermal reaction, which allows us to have a greater amount of things we're able to help with. And we started building the company on pain management. So we did level 1 clinical studies for chronic neck and shoulder pain, for heel pain and plantar fasciitis, for low back pain, for post-operative pain. Then as we grew, we got into aesthetics. And when we had our first laser for non-invasive fat loss, we really opened some eyes. People always love to look thin. And that kind of put our stamp, if you will, that, hey, Erchonia is here, and our company really started growing from there. And now we're looking at things such as dentistry, veterinary medicine, and further expansion into aesthetic applications.
That's kind of amazing. If you kind of think about pain, when people are in pain, they're looking for any type of solution out there to really go out there and resolve it. And to have a laser that's not able, or that isn't generating heat, that's kind of groundbreaking, especially since heat causes a lot of the problems that come with inflammation and so forth within the body. To kind of completely remove that element, you're getting all the benefits with the laser. And when you're moving into weight loss, like there's a med spa on every single corner kind of focusing on this, and that market's is huge, and I bet there's a lot of companies all across the United States and world probably using this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot of different businesses and a lot of different doctors implementing the technology in the United States. That's our home base. We're based out of South Carolina. But now through our Europe office, through our distributor networks, we have Erchonia lasers in 48 different countries.
That's amazing. So kind of walk me through what's the difference with someone who's going through maybe like a weight loss procedure with your lasers as opposed to something like where they're putting like a thing into the stomach to prevent more weight gain?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. One thing as a company that was always important to us is making not only the most effective technologies, but the safest. And with our technology, it's completely pain-free and completely non-invasive. And another wonderful thing in the fat loss industry is after we have this effect on the fat cells, which is the opening of a small pore in the fat cell, which allows the triglycerides and fatty material to seep out. Then the body removes it safely through the lymphatic system, and it's more bioavailable for energy. But after the treatment, that pore closes, and the fat cell is left healthy and intact. Now, a lot of other technologies may damage or kill a fat cell, and people go, oh, yes, my fat cells are gone. That's not good. Fat cells serve a lot of other purposes in the body, part of our endocrine system, immune function, regulating hormones, helping to store and remove toxins. So if we can have this amazing fat loss effect and never damage a cell or remove it from the body, it's a much healthier option for a patient, especially now as people are becoming more aware of that. They go, well, yeah, I want to lose weight. I want to look good. I want to be confident. And we provide an option that's completely non-invasive and completely healthy for the body.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but what ends up happening is your triglycerides, which are bad for the body, they get stuck into the fat cell, and then they start to accumulate more and more, and that's what kind of causes weight gain and other problems within the body. So what you're doing is you're opening up that cell, letting them all go out, so then the body could actually consume and get rid of them, and then that's what's causing the extreme weight loss and other health benefits that come with it. Wow.
Yes, absolutely. And it's something where it's a series of treatments. So when we did different studies, we're looking, okay, are the triglycerides release going to affect the body, the bloodstream? But because in the clinical study we did 6 treatments spread out over 2 weeks, and in the real world, a lot of places will do 8 treatments or even more based on BMI, the procedure keeps getting repeated. Open the cell. Some of the material comes out, absorbed and removed by the body, it closes. Then we open it again, closes, open it again. So over the course of the treatments that are done in a package, you're able to lose this fat and never put the body in a healing crisis or flood too many triglycerides or toxins into the system.
That's kind of amazing. What kind of weight loss results do people typically see with that?
So for us, it's all about inches lost. When we set up the study and did our pre-IDE meetings with the FDA on here's what's going to be the success criteria, they wanted to see inches lost. So we had measurement points of waist, hips, and thighs. And then when we did a study with one of our fat loss lasers for obese patients, upper and lower abdomen. And generally in that short 2-week window, they were losing 3.5 inches or more, depending on the various studies, which translates to at least 1 clothing size.
That's wild.
Now, the really nice part is in the study, they could not change diet or exercise, and they could do no adjunct treatments. So just the laser, that's it, and only 6 treatments, that's it. In the real world, a lot of these, even med spas, but especially doctors, fitness centers, they'll make healthy lifestyle suggestions. They do things to stimulate the lymphatics and help the body remove the fat. And based on the BMI, they'll do even more treatments. So they're seeing a lot greater results than a standardized clinical study.
That's kind of wild. In the real world, it may take 2 or 3 weeks to gain a pant size, but it might take 8 to 12, maybe 16 weeks to go down a size. So
right?
2 weeks, it's kind of wild.
I'm telling you, it's the best perk of the job is getting to use those lasers all the time. I love it. Anytime I got a vacation, a cruise, an important meeting, we're coming up on summer break, I'm using these lasers.
That's awesome. Like when it comes to dating, like no girl really cares how much money you have. They care about how much shape you are. It's kind of
Exactly.
the funny thing. So you're kind of looking at this new technology and moving it into different industries like veterinarians and other systems. Can you kind of talk us through maybe one or two of these industries and what you hope to achieve in them?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in the animal world, obviously a lot of what we do is repeatable, whether it was our lasers for pain management. We've used red violet combination lasers that have been proven in the human market for acne and for onychomycosis. So they show good antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal properties. So coming into the vet world, there's a lot of applications, whether it's pain, whether it's infection, whether it's post-operative care, whether it's wound healing. And those are all things we want to do in the veterinary market. And what we're excited and proud about is a lot of these lasers that are in the veterinary space, they go there because there's no regulatory pathway. They can put a inferior product there without any kind of research or testing, say it does this or that. The animal can't talk or tell you otherwise, and it's just accepted.
Yeah.
At Erchonia, we've spent 30 years now proving safety and efficacy in the human market, where we've done level 1 clinical trials, gotten FDA market clearances, put together all of our good manufacturing certs so we can sell as a medical device all around the world. Now we're bringing that level of care to animals. So we're excited about that, and we really think the sky is the limit.
I think that's pretty exciting if you really think about it, because you're right. An animal can't speak. An animal can't tell you if they have residual pain. And even if you're noticing like what they're doing, how can you tell how far off they were because they might be a little bit older, they were going through some pain? Like it's really hard to tell if something's not working for an animal.
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, and that's where we, like I said, we're very excited because people who invest in our technology, whether it's a pet parent or a veterinary clinic, they can go look and go, okay, they've proven this for 30 years in the human market. Now they're taking that same laser and bringing it into treat animals, having that confidence and that comfort of knowing who they're working with, not just oh, I hope this works.
Yeah, and as a pet owner myself, I mean, I hope this works is not something that I might opt for if I'm looking to heal my pet. I might want a more solid solution with more studies behind it, such as what you mentioned within humans.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think most people do. You've seen how much pets have become a part of people's families and how important they are. So providing them with this level of care, we think people and veterinarians are going to love it.
I think so too. I think that's going to be a really good thing for them. You were speaking about something else that you were working on as well.
Yeah. So the next one, which is our newest market, is dentistry. We've been very fortunate to work with a couple of prominent dentists. They're helping us do studies for gum recession, and we're also going to start a study for TMJ. But we already know, because of all of the body of work we've had throughout the years about pain management, that anything someone's experiencing regarding pain in their jaw, in their neck, in this general region, the lasers are going to have a great effect on it. We're also seeing that it's very good for post-operative pain and healing. We have actual studies we've done and insurance codes for post-operative laser treatments. Well, if you think of a dentist, more than most doctors who do major procedures, dentists all day are doing minor procedures. So right after the procedures, they're able to use these lasers. They can use them hands-free so it fits in their workflow, and they get their patients feeling better and out of pain quicker without maybe a need for topicals or for an opioid.
Yeah, leaving the dentist could definitely leave you in pain for maybe 2 to 3 days afterwards. Having some
Oh
solutions for
yeah.
pain there are really helpful. So I can see that being a
Yes.
big market as well. How's all the studies going so far?
So far, the initial information we're gathering is great. We've seen doctors who we've worked with for decades use it off label for this stuff. So we're confident the studies will be successful. Now it's just a matter of running the studies and gathering the information in the exact manner the FDA wants so we can submit for that 510(k) market clearance after we've completed the study.
When you first started working here, did you ever imagine this company having as much of an impact and breaking into these industries when you first started?
No, I mean, seeing where we are now, I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful. I remember when we were renting out garages and just starting off and patching it together however we could, but you could see the passion and the excitement, and even some of the early adopters and the doctors we work with just, oh, I saw this, and oh, this was amazing. And now seeing the new headquarters we were just able to build in South Carolina, and like I said, being involved in international sales, seeing lasers in one form or another in 48 countries. I mean, it's awesome. Looking back at it now, it blows my mind sometimes.
That's an amazing journey to be part of. What really inspired the leaders of the company to go out there and develop this laser? Like, how did this kind of come about?
Yeah, so the father of Steve Shanks, who is our president and one of the founders, his father was a paratrooper. And he dealt with a lot of chronic pain because of the injuries he's had while he was serving his country. When we were in Colorado, they were working with a doctor who was helping his father with pain. And he was using lasers, but they were big lasers from Europe. They were cumbersome. They were a pain in the butt to operate. When they would break down, it caused issues. And our other founder, Kevin Tusek, who's a retired Navy veteran, and he is an engineer by trade, he would help this doctor fix the lasers to get him up and running to treat Steve's father. Well, as he's doing this, he's going, I think I could probably put this into a smaller, more attractive package that we could make here and not have to deal with everything overseas. And being an inventor who loves doing that stuff, he went to work on it, and then he built this smaller laser, and the doctor treating Steve's father started using it, and he's like, this is awesome, I love it. He tells his friends who are doctors, they go, hey, I want to buy one. And there you go. It started in Kevin's garage with him building, Steve doing the sales work, and it just kept growing and growing for there until this year, where right now in this year, 2026, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary.
That's kind of amazing to really go out there and look at a machine and be like, this is kind of big, this is kind of bulky. Let's figure out how to trim it down and make it a lot more efficient. And then to have that turn into a 30 plus year success story. That's just amazing.
It really is. It's such a fun story. And I still am amazed with Kevin because the way his mind works, like I'm a people person, so I'm good at making connections and building relationships. I would look at something like that and go, what? And he figured out, okay, how do I build this, shrink it down, all that. It's amazing. And it's so fun to watch the creativity.
When you think about your impact across 48 different countries, how many places do you think are using your machines at this moment?
Oh, man. It's got to be in the tens of thousands, maybe even approaching hundreds of thousands if you think of all of the different doctors' offices, physical therapy centers, hospitals, and then, like you said, once we got into aesthetics, dermatologists, med spas, fitness centers, podiatrists. So the numbers are incredible now.
That's amazing. Do you see any other technology coming out that's kind of similar to yours, or do you see yourselves being kind of like that market leader?
We've definitely become the world leader in non-thermal laser technology. There's been, in my 24 years, quite a few companies who have come and gone, and most of the time it's exactly what you would think, where they don't do actual research. They file a substantial equivalent or a predicate on something we've done, and then they go, our device is the same. But there's no studies behind it. There's no good manufacturing processes. Most of them, honestly, trying to make a quick buck, and they come and go. So I think that's why after 30 years, we've stood true and continued to grow and expand into the world leader.
It's kind of hard to go out there and imitate a really good product, especially if you don't have anything to substantiate it and have proof behind it. So I could see why a lot of companies may have tried and failed as well. So that's an interesting take.
Well, and I think what helps us is because our technology was so different when it first came out. I mean, literally, you're shining a laser on somebody going, it's having this healing effect, or it's having this aesthetic effect. They're like, okay, but because of that research and because of the manufacturing processes, as we've expanded into these markets, some of the very top doctors who dig into this stuff went, whoa, okay, these guys are serious, and they stood behind it, which then brought us to the forefront, knowing that these kind of doctors would stake their name or stake their reputation to the technology and be proud to do so.
Yeah, and when you're working with physicians and surgeons, these are some of the brightest, most highest academic minds out there. So if they're putting their trust into something, that definitely says a lot.
Absolutely.
Well, we're about reaching kind of the end of our show. Were there any final thoughts that you wanted to leave with our audience?
I would love our audience to know one of the best things about us is education. So if you want to know more, if you're at Erchonia's website, which is just erchonia.com, you will see we're continually doing continuing education seminars, free webinars, live stream events, virtual seminars. Come learn. I mean, I think right now we're at a point where people are going, I want to find new and exciting ways to take care of myself and to deal with health ailments that I'm going through. And if you come to this kind of education, you can really learn about what we do, and you can see the science behind the lasers, the mechanism of action. And I think anybody that comes to these things will walk away just excited and amazed. And also, if you're keeping an eye on Erchonia, this year is going to be an exciting year as we have plans to launch several new products. So definitely keep an eye out between now and the end of the year. We have our business meeting coming up later in the year, which is where we usually launch some new products. But throughout the year, this year, we're going to launch several new exciting products.
That sounds really exciting, all the different product launches that are coming out. Everyone who wants to tune in and check those out, you can visit Erchonia.com. That's ERCHONIA.com. You can find all the information there. You could see continuing education courses and a lot more to get yourself familiarized with the lasers and exactly how they work and the types of impact they had. Joseph, where can people find you online?
So you can check me out at Zapolsky. So that's my handle, at Zapolsky III, ZAPOLSKY, number 3, or also just using my full name on LinkedIn if you want to check out the business contact. And I think you'll learn a lot about Erchonia through those, as, like I said, this has become my DNA. So on all my socials, and when people look at it, I'm sharing what we're doing, fun things about us, meetings we're at, people we're meeting that support the product. So I would love for you to take a look.
Thank you, Joseph, for sharing Erchonia with us and allowing us to learn more about the lasers and the huge impact they're having and the industries they're moving into. Everyone who's tuning in, if you'd like to reach out to Joseph, you know, understand how to, and if you want to learn more about Erchonia, you could always visit Erchonia.com. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another episode of Innovation Saves Lives, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.